Hi, my name is Erica Reed. I'm with the Center for Musical Arts, and one of the parts of my job that I love most is talking to our faculty members to get to know them a little bit better. Today, I am with Bryan Dubrow. How are you doing, Bryan?
Hi, Erica. I'm good, thanks.
I believe you were one of the newer members of the Center for Musical Arts faculty. Can you tell us a little bit about what brought you here?
Yeah, this is my first year with the Center for Musical Arts, so I've been teaching there for like 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is at this point. Um, and it's great. I love it. I came across the center. Um, I guess last year I had recently moved um to Colorado from Florida. I was originally living closer to Denver, and now I'm living in Erie, and I saw that the center was just basically down the road. Um, so
What brought you from Florida?
music. I'm a freelance musician, and I had you know I liked it there, but I wanted to be somewhere else and
Yeah.
try something new. And I had friends and people I knew out here, so Colorado
Yeah.
quickly jumped to the top of the list.
Yeah. Right. It's a great place to be. And Erie is really nice too. So you teach guitar at the center. How did you find that that was the instrument for you?
Um, I love guitar. My dad played. I think that's how I got into it.
Mhm.
I also teach piano and ukulele at the
Okay.
center. But guitar is my main instrument. It's what I'm most passionate about. So I've been, like I said, my dad played. I think I've probably like the 9 or 10 or 7 or so. He had a Gibson guitar just around the house, and I would try and play that, and he would take it away and say, "You can play this one instead until you know what you're doing." Um,
Right.
I just
Does he let you play it now?
yeah, when I go home,
You
I
can
like
play the
to
Gibson now.
play the Gibson.
So, you are a musician, as you mentioned, and you perform in many genres. Your bio mentions jazz and hard rock and bluegrass and probably many more. Can you tell me a little bit about, I don't know, what your main genre is and why you like to cross genres? What kind of musical projects you're working on right now?
Sure. Yeah, the main genre that I've been playing recently since I've moved here is bluegrass, which I've got into pretty heavily in the last 5 years. Before that, I was very into jazz. Before that, growing up, very into rock and heavy metal. So I I I like getting very deep into styles of music. So when I find something that interests me, I'll I'll devote a lot of time to just getting all the little details and trying to you know find everything I can.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like I'm still doing that with everything. But definitely at a certain point, it's nice to be able to pull from
Yeah.
all of those areas. So a project that I have right now is a band called Salome Songbird, and we play. It's like songwriter. It's kind of in the folk music Americana vein, but we pull from you know bluegrass and jazz and chamber music and classical music. Other musicians are kind of came up in with a lot of classical music experience, um, unlike me. So it's cool to be able to like pull from their experience in that, and then I can bring all
Yeah.
the jazz language that I have and even kind of like rock and metal stuff and try and do that with acoustic instruments.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about how all of this dovetails with your teaching, but before I do, I also read that you collaborate musically with your wife, who is a violinist and a songwriter. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and the joy that that must be?
Yeah, yeah, we've been playing together as long as we've known each other. She's in Salome Songbird, the band that I mentioned.
Okay.
Um, and in the past, we've also played as a duo. And we'll just play. So a lot of those kind of more organized situations are, I guess, kind of song focused. She writes a lot of great songs, so we'll take those and play those. And then just for fun, we'll play jazz tunes or fiddle tunes. And it's really cool to be able to do all of those different things. And
You must have a very musical household.
yeah, it's the two of us and our cat, and I like it.
Does the cat have a music name?
He doesn't. His name is Cheese.
Okay, a
Not
cat name.
yeah.
So let's get back to talking about your teaching. So tell me a little bit about your teaching philosophy, and especially, if a student is interested in genre, in bluegrass or in jazz or something, is that something you work with them on, or do you have sort of a set path?
Um, I I like to kind of cater to whatever the student is interested in, because as a student myself, I appreciate that, and also just practically, I think that's the only way to really keep people interested. Not that it's like we gotta trick them and keep them interested, but
Yeah.
if you're learning something that you want to play, you're gonna keep playing and you're gonna practice. And along the road, there's room to kind of show students new things that maybe they haven't come across before. That's how I got into jazz. I was not into jazz, and I had a guitar teacher, and he would teach me Metallica solos or whatever. And then at some point, he's like, I mean, you're very comfortable with this, but what if we played, this this tune, and there's all these chords, and we can explore that. And then I got very, very into that, and I wouldn't have if it wasn't for that teacher.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and as far as like learning your instrument and technique, with some exceptions, I think the important techniques can be found in everything. So along the road, we're learning a song, there's room to say, let's look at our left hand position a little closer, because I think there's a way that we can make this easier to play this piece of music. Or right hand, let's figure out a better way to hold the pick, and that's going to make playing this song that you're into a little easier.
I love what you just said about how technique can be found in in anything that you want to practice. I think that really, it's a very welcoming sort of philosophy for a student. Do you work with students of all ages, or is there a sweet spot for you?
All ages. Right now at the Center for Musical Arts, I'm teaching um, kids, I guess, between the ages of 7, 12 or
Mhm.
so. I also have a private student who are adults. And yeah, I like having a range
Yeah.
of student perspectives.
Okay, wonderful. Well, is there anything that we haven't covered that you think would be really useful for a prospective student who maybe is just starting guitar, or maybe they've had one hanging on their wall for years and just haven't touched it and want to get back to it? Is there anything you'd like to say about the way that you teach, for a student who might be considering getting back to the guitar?
Um, sure. Yeah, I think just listening to music a lot is really important. Because that's gonna, one, just make, hopefully, like, you want to find the music that really inspires you. And not everything, at least not everything at this moment, is going to have the same level of inspiration. So you might experiment and listen to maybe some music that you haven't listened to before, but find the music that really makes you want to play, and just get the passion that way. And then so much of playing music is about listening, and we can get out of listening. So a lot of learning different rhythms and being comfortable with rhythmic things or harmony. If your ears are tuned to it, it's a lot easier to learn kind of the stuff that we might write down. So yeah, listening to a lot of music, I think, is a great thing to do.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, thank you for taking the time to let us get to know you a little bit better, Bryan. It's wonderful to meet you.
Absolutely.